This is the assignments homepage. You'll find it under configuration along the horizontal menu where you have edit gradebook options, categories, and then assignments. This is a great place for an overview and it is functional too. You can edit, enter marks, get more info. Everything's at your fingertips here. Now, you can see that I have some mock assignments here, and these are standards that have been embedded. Now, you probably would not put this many standards down because you might not want to score them individually, or it might not be appropriate for the assignment. This was just for a mock assignment, so I could gather and filter standards. Over here, you see type, you see the formative and summative, so you have an idea of where this is going to weight. And then you have grading completed, and then it even lets you know if you've done input by standard or not, and then you have your points. Also here, you can add an assignment. You can push assignments to other gradebooks, and you can import assignments into this gradebook. You could import from a colleague, but you can import from yourself from another term, and I'll show you how that might be important to you. So now what we're talking about is final assessments. And those final assessments are per standard. So I'm going to add assignment, and I've already set this one up. Writing with evidence final assessment. I'm selecting summative, and I want to make sure that my category, which is also a standard, matches the standard that is up here. Then I have my dates. I'm going to put it toward the end of the term. I'm going to use June 2nd here. So you want to make sure that you do end of term because that's when this is going to apply. All right. And then for number correct, number possible, you're going to do 100 and 100. That's keeping the math simple. You don't need to add a standard because this is going to be the single grade for that particular standard. All right, now I'm going to save and close. And that's going to appear in this here too. Oh, and it is at the top, okay, because of the date. All right, and now why am I doing this? I have to do this as many times as there are standards. This particular discipline is Science 6-8. They have submitted and recommended 10 standards. So they would do this 10 times. And you would do this at the beginning of a term and set it to a late due date at the end of the term. And then you would use it at the end of the term, and we'll show you how. And then if you don't want to keep repeating that manual input of that, when you get to your second term, you would just import those assignments into this gradebook so you would have them for the next term, just changing the dates. All right, now, why do I want to use this? I'm going to go back to scores by class. And if you recall, we had the filters showing over here. And I'm going to go to standards and I'm going to go to writing using evidence. So this is something you could do in between the terms. You could do it midterm and check how folks are doing, but this is really important toward the end of the term. So now I have a score. I also have dates, and I also see summative and formative if I have any formative here. I don't. So this score depends on how this has been weighted in the apply weighting under options. And so this is all summative. Was summative 100% of the grade or 70% of the grade? That's going to impact this score. And I'm also looking at dates, and I'm looking at, has there been improvement, progress, or decline? Is this an accurate score for what the student knows and can show? Because I can look at this as the resident expert in this field and say, this is not exactly accurate. It is higher. This is not exactly accurate. It is higher. This is not accurate. It is actually lower because there has been decline. So I have to look across and see time and summative and formative, and then I can adjust that grade, or I can take it over as it is as an average for the grades for that uh, area. This is where you can exercise a little bit more management and control, or stick to the average. Either is fine. All right, so I'm going to pull those scores over, and that's going to be what a student gets in that particular filter. And then I'm going to clear the filters, and then I'm going to repeat the process. I'm going to choose another standard and go through. And this again is at the end of a quarter, end of a term, and I would put in those scores.